Thunderstruck from Apple Music.
I just love this song. Kind of gets me up and going. Everybody know this? Well, you should know it. I just mentioned who the band is. So I'll try and put some good music on to get us started. Good morning. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about you. As I said, this is going to be just another boring meeting. We're going to cover stuff we probably don't even want to cover. I want to challenge you all to pick your path. Now, you have to be flexible. So we're taking a business planning clinic. That is a terrific roadmap, and everybody should take this class because it gives you a map of what your business looks like going forward. And you need that. You've got to have that because that is going to take you from being entrepreneurial to being purposeful. If you know what you must do, you have a far greater probability of it actually getting done. If you know where you're going and you write it down, that's the business planning side of this, you have a far greater probability of achieving your goals and reaching your destination. I equate this always to sailing on a boat. If I pull out of port on a boat and I said, well, I'm really, really interested in going to the Rock of Gibraltar, which is like this big, by the ocean standards. I mean, if you can hit it, that's like throwing a dart. If I don't have a map and a compass, I'm going to end up in the Congo, or I may end up in London somewhere, or in England somewhere. There's no way you can really navigate that and successfully get it. The chances of me shooting between the Rock of Gibraltar and Africa are like almost non-existent. Do you know what your business looks like this year coming up in 2023? We're in it right now. Do you have a good game plan? If you don't, that's cool. We've got these classes. Take them, invest 3 hours in you. I can't challenge you enough on that one. I wrote down, this is the time to choose your path. I want you all to consider this. I'm a proponent, an absolute proponent of database. I believe it needs to be in everybody's business. And I think that there's other opportunities out there as well, from geographic farming to anything. I'm going to bring them up to YouTube, which is something that actually has me and Jackie very intrigued. Our path is changing a bit. I'm going to use me as an example on this one for two reasons. First off, public accountability. And second, it's totally okay for you to switch directions, but you can't do that every couple of months. It has to be something you commit to for a course of a year. What path are you all on? What's the place, the way you're going to go? Because your lead generation path is where your business comes from. Now, I hate for you guys to have to hear this from me. I hate to be the person bringing it up to you. Your number one job is lead generation. Okay, let that sink in. If you aren't doing lead generation, if you are not doing something to put you in contact with other people, there's a very good chance you're not succeeding at the level you probably want to and definitely should. This is an important thing to grasp. What are the two areas that you're going to be working on and focusing on in real estate over the next 12 months? And if you're able to, put it in the chat. I'd love to know what your number one and probably your number two lead generation source are, because I want to talk about those a little bit. You may decide that you're going to change directions. You may decide that you're going to work on something else that's going to be, that's what I want to focus on for a year. So if you're able to, and you know what they are, put in the chat what your lead generation sources are. I'd love to talk about it. Kenya, thank you. Open houses and social media. So social media comes up a lot on this. Open houses are a great way to go face-to-face, prospecting and follow-up. Claire, I would suggest perhaps database, that your prospecting is your database. Is that an accurate statement, Claire? Got her. I think I caught her blind on that.
Yes.
One. Okay. All right. As I thought, I know that you're very diligent on your schedule, and that's actually part of the conversation too. I'm actually not really leading this. I'm not really talking. Claire's talking out, just my mouth moving. Okay. Just so you all know, this is really her class. Let's see. Liz got in there. Centers of influence, open house, door knocking. Jacopo is cold calling and social media. Karen Leday, database. Love it, Dina, for sale by owners, open houses and social media. So there's a tendency here. So let's use social media, because y'all know If you say social media, I start like cringing a little bit. I'm like, really? So like what, commenting on putting a post out there that, oh my God, I sell homes. That's probably not going to do it. If you're going to use social media, we've got to be really, really purposeful. Your job is to lead generate. Let's never forget that. If you want to use social media, as a lot of us have put in there, my goal is to make 300 new face-to-face relationships and grow my SEI. That's exactly what the goal should be, Jay. I love that one, Jay. And if you put Nikki out front, you'll meet 300 people a lot quicker than if you're the face of that operation, my friend. Just kidding, brother. You know I am. I couldn't help it. Social media database and events. Awesome. All right. So that's a really good segment here. Let's talk about social media. This is one that, because we're all active in it, we're all relatively comfortable with it. We're probably feeling that that's a good way I can get out and I can reach people. You can, but it's going to take a couple things. You're going to need to build a skill set that is not like the one you currently have. I'm making assumptions. This is not a blanket approach to everybody. I want you to think about this. So, and again, I'll go to a story that's me. When I hear social media, I go YouTube. That's for me, that's social media, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. I don't know a whole lot about them. Facebook, I do know about, but here's what I think on Facebook. And this is just me. Y'all get this. Scrolling. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, it's not interesting anymore. Facebook, there's not really a question. If you're going to use social media, answer a problem, solve a problem. The biggest search engines in the world are YouTube and, of course, Google, and Google owns YouTube, but they're search engines. That's not social media. So I've got to learn an entirely different strategy on how I go about my business and what I'm going to be having to do. Okay. You may decide that you're going to do something. And again, we're talking social media. If you're going to be very powerful on Instagram, maybe you want to consider finding somebody who's doing exactly what you want to do and interview them. Have you guys thought about what your business looks like a year from now? What are the two areas that you're going to be an expert at? If it's social media, the best I know right now is probably Gogo Betsky. And Jaime is very good as well. His is more YouTube. She's more Instagram. You can make this business work on social media, but it is not putting little posts. It is a strategy by following people who are having successful sales. I heard something a couple of days ago. I thought that was important and I wanted to pass this on. Having somebody like you is something you cannot deposit in a bank. Unfortunately, you all are in business to make money. We do that providing a high level of service and having a high level of skills. So your skill sets are mission critical for the next year. So of course, I'm going to talk about scheduling as well. You know me, that's what I do. Is there a time you have in there for learning? Are you seeking out ways to improve whatever these two options you have are? And TikTok, yes, thank you. Whatever these two lead generation styles, are you getting better at them or are you just kind of shooting from the hip? Again, with me as an example, I wanted to shift. Jackie and I spoke of it. We said we're going to do that. We're shifting over to having YouTube be a bigger platform for us, mainly database. Number one, that's never going to change. But we wanted to switch over to YouTube. We thought that would be a fun thing, something that we both enjoy doing. The amount that I have to learn in the last 2 months of really digging into this, I learned something new every single day. The biggest challenge I'm having, quite honestly, is just get the damn thing done and shoot the frickin' video. Pardon my French. I don't know if that was French or not. Do you see what I'm saying though? There's that, like, even I have a fear of like, oh, can I do it right? Is it going to be okay? Am I good enough at it? And I'm constantly learning about this because I am shifting my position greatly. I'm shifting my focus. Sorry, not my position, my focus. What are your two lead generation platforms? What are the two areas? And a lot of you were nice enough to throw them out there. And I mean, throw yourself under the bus. I'm the first one to raise my hand on this one. Am I doing my database at the absolute highest level? No, I got to go no. Call no on me. Do I know how to do it? Absolutely. I teach it. All right. It's something I'm massively passionate about. But am I not doing it? I'm not. You know why? Here's why. I'm human. I have these really stupid fears that are in the back of my head that I actually believe some of those might be true. They're not one of them, really. And I don't follow my schedule as much as I actually should, because if I did, everything would fall into line because my schedule controls me. Here's the thing. You're never going to be perfect. It's okay. What we want you to do for you is to take action. That's the number one most important thing that we're focusing on with you guys, every one of you. I want you to take measurable action as soon as you possibly can. And for some of you who are a little bit concerned about not being perfect, and it's not the right product, and in this postcard, it looks good, but it's not perfect yet. Get moving, fail forward. It is absolutely okay to not be perfect on this. So everybody here has a pretty good idea of what they're going to do for lead generation. And if you don't, I'm going to share this with you, and then it is yours as well. That's not it. There's my screen being blocked. I use this. Can you all see this? It says real estate real estate business menu. Anybody? Just shake your head. Perfect. Terrific. Something in here, for the most part, has to be used. You're going to have to make a commitment. You're going to have to choose what you want to do. And this link right here, by the way, I'll be putting this link in there. If you want to take a look at this again, I'm not going to keep it up and bore everybody with it. It will be in the chat, so you can pull it down if you'd like to. And it's just a direct link to the menu. Here's the thing. Your business and the two places that you focus on are going to require, realistically, 40 to 50 hours a week of business right now, starting this week, starting today. Here's why. If you're not actively working with a client, you should be actively pursuing a client or working on a negotiation or ongoing training. For anybody here that is not going to be attending, if you have an opportunity attending this class tomorrow, shame on you. Try and register for it. Actually, Tiffany, if she's driving, she's probably driving at this point. When she gets back, we'll ask her to drop it back in there again for us. I want you to be on, today, that's what I was thinking with today. Today, the first day of grit, you're going to get something out of it. If you don't have an active appointment and you don't have something that needs your immediate attention, and you very possibly do, then please invest in yourself. It costs you nothing, but there is a great training. This is created by the people that created Bold. Okay, now that is like the number one class that was attributed to getting so many people through the recession by focusing on our skills, by focusing on what we're doing, by talking to people, having phone calls. It is not a prospecting base for anybody that's been to Bold. Bold is pretty right in your face. It can get kind of aggressive. This is not that aggressive by any stretch, but there's something in there that you're going to learn that is going to help move your business because you invested in you. Bring it up just because I can. This on Tuesdays and Thursdays should be blowing up with scheduled events. The absolute solution to the problem you have with your real estate business in the specific area that you are focusing on is available right now in an icon series from somebody who did it better. Anybody here, by show of hands, know John Wheeland? He's down in, he's Mr. Del Rey. He's one of our business partners down there. I'll give you a little backstory if you don't. Great guy, terrific. Had some real health issues, was kind of out of pocket for about a year. I mean, like brutal pain. I'll let him talk about it. So John had started a YouTube channel, Delray Beach YouTube channel, and he started that about a year and a half ago, I think, a little over that, in the middle of 2021. And he's like, I got to do something. This is just, I want to do this. And then he was down in the back literally the entire 2022 for the most part. He's just coming back around. But John is doing exactly what I want to accomplish. So you know what I did? I picked up the phone and I called John and I interviewed him. I spoke to him for the better part of an hour. In fact, I have weekly accountabilities with him to make sure that I continue to do my job, what I'm supposed to do. Who's doing what you want to do at a level above where you're currently at? And whoever that person is, let them know that you think enough of them that you'd like to spend a little bit of time with them and interview them on what they're doing. You would be amazed how easy it will be for them to share with you things that'll help you in your business. Now, some of you may be going, I don't know if I could do that. And I get it. I really do. But I got to tell you, it's how you make big moves and big changes. When I was in 2006 and the market was absolutely changing, just like we're in right now, you hear they're going to raise the interest rates again. I just heard that this morning, that they're talking about doing that again today. I don't know if it's going to happen, but the projection is another 75 basis points, which is 0.75. That's going to be crazy. See. But when the market was changing a couple of years ago, 2007, I'm like, I need to do something different. I knew what I wanted to do. And there was only two people that were really good at it. I won't give you the long story of this, but I said, I need to know how you do it. I admire what you do. I respect what you do, but I really want to get better at it. Can I come out and interview you, have a cup of coffee with you? And I got on a plane the next day and I flew out and interviewed somebody who is probably one of the best. Russell Shaw is his name. He's literally probably one of the best I've ever seen on TV. He's really good at delivery. And I wanted to be better at TV. And then I went over and I met with Jeff and Marcy Willems and ended up spending a couple of days with them. But I got all the information I needed that actually allowed me to impact my business. And I learned through others. I used my R&D skills, which is rip off and duplicate. Here's a little sidebar. This is just a side note, just something to throw out there. With all of our, all of us have the ability to do something like this. When you're putting stuff in, because social media came up so much, when you're doing social media, come from contribution. The only thing is give them whatever they need, give them whatever they need, give them whatever they need, give them whatever they need. If you're talking about, I don't know, let's say moving from Los Angeles to Orlando. Okay. So a mover's guide or an Orlando getting to know Orlando guide would be very germane in your follow-up for somebody that you're talking to. Why not offer that to them and say, listen, I have this. If you want it, let me know. If you're emailing it to them, just let them know I've got this. All you have to do, just reply back and I'll email it to you. I'll send it over to you right away. If you're not, if it's on social media, after going through a social media live, I'm just using an example. Why wouldn't you have in there, click here, and then I will actually click here and I'll send you over the relocation guide. I'm not sure how everybody's using social media, but if there isn't a call to action, the chances are you're not picking up leads. And what you need is you need emails, you need phone numbers and names. You're not going to get that unless you come from contribution. And that's just a little side note. I wanted to throw that in there. All right. You knew this is going to happen. This is what happens when you get on a boring call with George. What's your schedule look like? Seriously, what's your schedule look like? If your schedule doesn't mirror where you want it to go, we're probably not going to get there or anywhere close. And I'm here to tell you, you will not manage your schedule perfectly. It's not possible. It's like doing Rubik's Cube or hitting a hole in one. They don't exist in my world. Nobody can do that. You're going to run into that problem, and don't beat yourself up because it wasn't perfect. But how would you rate your day? You don't have to answer this, but you know what you need to do. It's on your schedule, which means on your schedule, you should have everything you need. This is what my day is. Now, please, for the love of God, please don't put in there, walk the dog, 12:04. Okay. I mean, let's not go uber micro. But how about if we put on there the things we need to do, like a WOB time, working on your business time, prospecting time, training times, training schedules, things that are happening. If it's on your schedule, you can look at your schedule and literally go, I can look at your schedule and say, okay, how'd you do? And I can tell you if you had a good day or a bad day, and you're going to have bad days, lots of them. That's where they start. We start with bad because you're not good at this yet. You don't have muscle memory. And you start rating your days. Like, how was yesterday? I'll give you a score on me. For yesterday, I'm going to go with 3. Really not very good. I didn't accomplish half. I've got a list of what I have to do. A quiet time, an hour and a half of working out, an hour and a half of prospecting, an hour of WOB, and then business planning. That's if I can do that, I've had a perfect day. Now it's on my schedule every day, except for Tuesdays. So I know what I got to do. I can rate it. How are you doing in your schedule? If you're figuring out that you're getting, more 3s, 4s, and 5s, that's actually a good thing. And here's why. If your day was a 3, 4, or 5, you don't have to do that much to make it a 5 or a 6. So moving the needle a little bit. I don't expect you to be perfect. You shouldn't expect that of you either. But we have to invest time on task over time. You know it. I say that all the time. You've got to invest this in you because we're talking about your success. So I covered that you're going to have to choose where you're going to lead generate. And at that point, you're going to need to build your skills up at a level you're probably not at right now. And that's actually the fun part. It's very, very exciting. I'm engaged in this because I'm in a learning process. A lot of us are very learning based. We want to get better at something. But if you don't put a time on there, there's a very good chance you're going to go down a wormhole, and all of a sudden 5 hours later you're still researching, still getting better, and that's not appropriate to the rest of your schedule. Hence the reason the schedule is important. So you're going to need to build a schedule that supports your goal and then follow it. Try your best to have a great day, a perfect day. You may have one or two every couple of weeks, which is awesome. And then all of a sudden you're going to realize you're having more and more of them because it's what you're focusing on. And more of your momentum is picking up with your business. And can I get a hallelujah from anybody that totally agrees that momentum is the key to real estate success? You got to get that ball rolling, and it takes a lot of effort to push that thing. But once it goes, you can move it with one hand and just move it along. You owe it to yourself. I told you it's going to take a lot of time. If y'all want it, I'll switch over this side now, I think. We've covered this before. I think it works pretty darn well, but I'm going to share it with you regardless, just because I want you to have it. If you're interested in figuring out what your goals are, put in what your income would be, average sale price. If you're on a team, great. Split, we'll just pretend that's the case, and that this is the average commission. If you're an individual agent, it'll tell you how many sales you need to have. Okay. So let's say you want to make 100,000 and actually keep 100,000. Okay. After your initial cost, which is your split cost and all, this is how many sales you need. Sorry, 12 sales. With 12 sales, with the average commission being 80% at 2.5%, that's going to make you well over 100. Now you can go through this. It also breaks down how many contacts you need as a solo agent. If you're going to do this, you're going to need a whopping 1,700, which is only 36 contacts per week. If you're doing open houses, this is a layup. Y'all get this? You want to know these numbers. You want to do them. That was a real quick one. And consider that that's probably fairly transferable, because that's pretty much average sales United States at this point. If you have to adjust it, terrific. And again, I'm going to drop this in here so you can create your own. But if you say to me, hey, I want 150, I'm going to be like, you're awesome. I love that. Yeah, that's what you want. That's your goal, $150,000. Okay, so we're going to do that. We know we need 12 contacts, or we need 12 closings for 150. I'm probably going to need 18. Does that make sense to everybody? I mean, it's pretty straightforward math. We're just going to double that up. That means I'm going to need to speak to somewhere around 50 people per week. Can you do that? Yeah. This is not incredibly difficult. In fact, you're going to be practicing repetitious boredom. I was actually taught that. He said, my coach was like, you're going to have to learn repetitious boredom. You will be bored in doing this right. It's the same thing. It's monotony. It's over and over again. It's lead generating. Think about this. So if we don't do this, folks, if you don't get good at social media, if that's your chosen path, I'm not going to kick you in the teeth on this anymore, but you better be really good. And it better be spawning opportunities, which means phone number, email, or both ideal, one for sure. Are you generating likes, which you cannot deposit, or are you generating leads? And when you're doing social media, because that seems to be something everybody's interested in, you have to generate leads, period. If you're not, you're fooling yourself, folks. And that's why I started with, what's your path? This is the most important time for your success next year. I was struggling with, what am I going to teach and talk about? And I said, you know what? So it's going to go like all highfalutin. And I said, that doesn't make sense. It's not even relevant at this point. This is what's important for your success. I need you guys to really put your shoulder into this. Not for me. Don't misunderstand me. This isn't for me. It's for you and your goals. It's going to take more work than you think it will. And here's a little secret you're not probably prepared to accept and acknowledge yet. You're fully capable of doing it at an incredibly high level. Most of you won't give yourself the benefit of the doubt. I'm here to tell you, you are. So what we need to do is start working. Follow your schedule. Know what your goal is and what you need to do. Somebody put in here open houses. Okay, terrific. I know that if I do an open house, I can get anywhere from 20 to 25 people, but I can knock on doors and raise that number. Now, all of a sudden, my open house day goes from, let's say, 15 to 20 to guaranteed I'm going to speak to at least 30 people because I'm going to door knock 15 of them and I'll have 15 come through my open house. Now, I lose a little bit the next day. So really, I've got 2 days where my average is now 45 or total is 45. So I'm averaging about 20 people. Interesting. I'm looking at this right now, but if I needed to speak to 20 people, I'm pretty darn close. 20 people each day. That's 40. That's enough for me to make $100,000 right here. And that's just one weekend. That's open houses. How are you lead generating in social media? Make sure you know the answer to this. Okay. Does your schedule work? Got to. Because if you follow your schedule, you don't have to think about what you're doing. You just do what you're told to do. It's very liberating. For anybody here, head of a household or runs the house, Lizette, don't raise your hand up because you just run basically the world around your house. That's what she is besides a caregiver. And there's a lot of us that are involved. I don't have to run the house because I have my wife is incredibly talented, but I run the outside of the house, and it turns out I suck at that. But I'm getting better. I'm learning. Thing is, you can do more than you think you can. If you've ever had a child, you know that firsthand. But all I want is 4 hours. I want to make sure you know you're lead generating. That's what you're doing. You're lead generating. The reason you're working on your business is to make your lead generating better, more efficient, and more enjoyable for your clients. Please, please help yourself. You deserve this. Tiffany, would you drop the grit class, the first one, the free one today, please? I would strongly encourage everybody here that does not have something going on. I would like you to sign up for this. You're not obligated to the class. You're just signing up to get the invite for it and attend the grit class, because here's the thing for me. The first year I got into real estate, I went to the very best real estate agent there was in Central Florida, and I asked him exactly what to do. And he said, I want you to make phone calls. I want you to call for sale by owners. I said, okay, that's what I'll do. Now, he coached me to some degree on for sale by owners, but not a lot. I was just really kind of giving him money, quite honestly, because we didn't meet on a regular basis. It wasn't like he was my coach or anything, but he did give me the guidance, and he was very good at what he did. And I learned from Mike Ferry, that's where a lot of his coaching came from. I bring this up because in 2005, I was transitioning. I had a big regular traditional business, was selling about 30 homes, but I needed to add more. So I hired a coach, a guy named Kirk Nace. Kirk Nace is still one of my coaches and brilliant. And he actually predicted the crash in 2004. I read his syllabus on it. He nailed it to a T. You might want to think about what he's got to say about the next one that's coming, because he's got an opinion. He's pretty smart. So I took a coach there, and then I wanted to get into TV. So I had to go find people that could actually coach me, because they've done what I wanted done and they could teach me how to do it. Does that mean they're better than me at it? Absolutely not. You know why? Because as much as I'd love to say it, Big Phil was nowhere near as good as Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen, but boy, he was a hell of a coach. Coach for Alabama. He's not the best football player, but he is the best coach, period. A great coach doesn't have to have done everything you want to have done. They have to have knowledge of how to do it. Who's helping guide you in your business? I hope, I pray, and I'm truly grateful if it's me and everybody else that participates in this. I'm truly grateful for that huge honor. But somebody needs to be accountable to you. I've got a call with an agent partner of ours today at 10, I believe, and then another one at 10:30, which is more of a personal call. But the one at 10 is all about accountability. Now, she's not paying me, but she's writing 5 checks for $1,000 each to people she doesn't like. If she doesn't hold accountable to herself, I'm going to send them for her, because they'll be at my house. And I promise you, if one of them goes out, that's a lesson you need. Now, that's probably a little bit over dramatic. That is without question a Mike Ferry strategy. But the thing is, I get it. And please let it sink in. It's okay. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to do it exactly right. But are you going to put the effort in and start to move that needle right now? Are you going to make sure that you're feeding your brain with things? I hope this is not a sales pitch for grit. It's just, I know where we're going with this. And if you don't have somebody that's managing, helping you get to where you go, then find somebody that's doing what you're doing and let them know how awesome they are. And if you have to, go take them out for a cup of coffee, or better yet, be a showing agent for them. I don't care what you do. Surround yourself with somebody who's succeeding at the level and doing what you want. Now, a lot of you, again, you said social media. Oh, all right. Jessica Baskey's is like brilliant at this. So I've actually got to read this real quick. On social media, I think it's also important to note that it's more of a pull strategy, especially in the beginning. You're building a brand and pulling people into that brand, and messaging growing over time. So it's not typically the quickest lead generation strategy. I got 5 words for that, Baskey's: time on task over time. If you invest the time, it will happen.
Amen.
And you're absolutely right. Thank you for sharing that, Jessica. She is, maybe you guys go figure out where she is and go talk to her for a day. Just try that out there. I mean, she's like really good at this. So thank you very much. And Liz jumped into the same thing. So folks, make the commitment to yourself, make the commitment to somebody that you care about. Let them know what's happening, what you're doing, that you are absolutely committed. You're going to need your time, because it's yours. So take control of it and make sure it's yours. Here's a great example, and I'll use this just because it just popped into my mind. Tiffany, as you all know, is a director of operations, and she's got, you're good, honey. I'm just using an example. Love your hat too. Got to throw that out there. Love your hat. That's awesome. So Tiffany is the director of operations, and she also has her own real estate career, which is totally cool. They tend to work very, very well together. And I like to think that because she's been involved in these calls every single day for what, 3 years now, 2 years, as long as it's been, she's picked stuff up. What are you doing to put yourself in a place to pick things up? Not just from us. And I love having you here because this is at your disposal. But what are you doing where you're really putting yourself out on a limb? So for me, with what I'm struggling with and what I'm going to accomplish, which is the YouTube, I will succeed at that, Jackie, and I will for sure. I'm going to have to fly out to see Jaime for a day and follow him around and watch him shoot and watch him edit and watch him do what he does, simply because I need to see that. I need to see the 4-minute mile being run, and I need to see the success of it to know that I can do it too. And that's just how I work. If I can see it, I can accomplish it. If you know what you want and there's somebody that's doing what you're doing, are you looking into reaching out to them? Say, hey, can I have a cup of coffee? So I'll tell you all the story real quick, and then I am going to cut it off because I'm going to get on the grit. Thank you. But I can't do that because this call's over at 9:30, just letting you know, because I can't get on it if there's a Zoom call going on my Zoom number. So y'all are out at 9:30. Everybody kaput. Oh, I was going to tell you. Oh, so I wanted to get into REOs. I was like, I finally said, I'm going to make the commitment to do it. I said, all right, I'm going to do this. And I fought it forever. And I went to REO 5-star, which is an event they put on there. And this is, you stick with me, guys, because this is important. So I went to the event. I'm like, okay, I understood the dynamic of what's involved. I got the model. I had a pretty good idea of the model. I didn't really know how everything worked. So there was a person. Why did you make me host? Where did she go? That is so uncool.
I'm here, but it kicked me out. I swear I'm here.
All right. I'm just like, you can't put me back at host. That means I'm in control. That's not good. Don't do that. Right. Get scolded by Kenya. All right. So I needed to know more about this. So I called up, there's a guy in our community in my area who is absolutely well known. His name is Jeff Perry. He's the best at REOs I've seen. And so I called him up. I said, hey, Jeff, it's George Philbeck. And he kind of knew who I was. He's been doing this for years. He looks like a very tall, thin mixture between Keith Richards and Steven Tyler. I mean, he's just a tall, wafy, thin guy, and he is absolutely brilliant. So he says to me, he goes, all right, I'll meet you for a cup of coffee. I take my office manager and myself. We go down and we're meeting outside of his office. I mean, literally, we're pretty far, like a block away from his office for obvious reasons. He's not sharing this stuff. He knows who I am, and I remember I'm doing TV at this point. So I am selling about 100 homes a year. And I said, Jeff, I just wanted to learn more about REOs. He said, you're the best out here. I complimented him, had a conversation with him, and was genuinely interested in everything he had to say. 3 hours later, after we had toured his entire office, and he said, okay, you want to hire 2 of these. This is what they do. 3 of these. My office manager is writing down notes furiously. It ain't my good looks or my charm. That's not what gets me in the door. That's not what'll get you in the door. What'll get you in the door is a genuine respect for what somebody has done and a genuine admiration for their skill and the ability to say, I just really want to be a sponge. You've succeeded at something I'm passionate about, and you're the best model I can find. Who can say no? Perhaps I would encourage you to not do it in the exact same town. Yet Jeff, God bless him, opened up his entire playbook. The reason there's tiny little moments that change your life. Wanted to do TV, went out there. One guy said, sure, George, come whenever you want. The second person I was reaching out to said, I'm available tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. And if you can't make it then, I won't be available for another month. That was Jeff Willems, one of my best friends, my sponsor, my business partner forever. Had I not said, great, I'm coming, you son of a bitch, and get a red eye fly out there, I would have not been able to get into the television. And having done that, I would have not had the pedigree eventually to get into the REOs at the level I did through these people I met as well through my networking. Y'all may know a guy named Leo Pajera. Leo Pajera is the president of our particular brokerage of ancillary businesses, and he's absolutely genius. Leo, Jeff, myself got into REOs together. So that one flight out there actually did all of this. That one conversation with Jeff elevated with Jeff Perry here in my town, the best REO person I've ever seen. I mean, 1,500 homes a year easily. And him opening up the playbook completely, that one conversation gave me the answers it would have taken me 3 years to learn. What are you winging it on that somebody else is doing better? And what can you do? Pay attention, all of you, to let them know that they're awesome, and that you respect them, and that you'd love to be a sponge and listen to what they have to say. A lot of us will do that with Max. Max is really good at open house. So is Donna, by the way. I want to throw that out. And so is Kenya. Kenya, don't want to miss you. There's a lot of us on here, but the faces I can see. Guys, we're doing that right now. We do it with people we're interested in hanging out with and we want more information from. And it's not a selfish thing. It's simply a matter of, if you have a passion for something, find somebody who did it and then do as much R&D as you possibly can. And I absolutely mean rip off and duplicate. This just came up for me. Well, so if I'm doing a YouTube video and it's on relocation, relocating to the Orlando area. So I would obviously get a relocation guide. It was John that was telling me about this. There's a book that I was reading that was really cool, but I don't know where I can get a relocation guide. So I typed in relocation guide and it gave me a bunch of relocation guides. So I copied everything that they wrote in that relocation by on a Word document. I'm going to send it off to Fiverr for $10 and Fiverr will bring it back and it'll be completely different, which means it's not plagiarizing, but it is now my personal PDF and I will use it again and again and again. It is mine. It is pretty. I will call it George and I pet it and I love it. It's my personal one that I'll give away. Hold on 1 second. Antonio, thank you very much. Workplace chat, you can reach me on that, but not until afternoon today because my schedule is important. I got to manage it. So we're going to go for about 5 more minutes and open it up to anybody. And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to register for my meeting and I hope you do the same. I think that you're going to learn something, period, which is the most important part. Something is going to impact you in this and it's going to change your business. And by the way, this is something really, really cool. If you think about it this way, it'll happen. If you go into something saying, I am absolutely going to get stopped by every red light here, I guarantee it'll happen. If you go into a meeting, you say, or a call or this mastermind, something in here is going to positively impact my business. You'll find it. It'll throw itself at you. Be like, poof, here you go. Got to go with the right mindset into this one. All right, Keith, get your hand up. It's all you. And then Lizette, you're right after him, my friend.
Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to let everyone know that today is Kenya's birthday. And so maybe we'll take 3 seconds and everybody say all together, happy birthday, Kenya.
Everybody unmute. If you can, unmute. One,
Happy birthday,
two,
Kenya.
3.
Happy
Happy birthday.
birthday,
Kenya.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Keith.
Sweet.
All
Thank
right, that's
you
all
so
I got.
much. Thank you, friend. Thank you.
Have a
everybody.
great day, everyone.
We embarrass
Way to
you
go.
anymore.
Jonathan Master, what's up, brother?
George, thank you very much for that beautiful
doing, Georgie?
class this morning.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. That was unsolicited. I had no idea it was your birthday. I swear to God, that was just off the cuff. I really, truly, I would have said happy birthday.
You
So-
made my day. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
I'm glad to do it. Keith, are you good, sir? I think so. Krista, if you're all set, Krista, it is your floor, my friend.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Hi, I just wanted to mention, you said to, yes, reach out to people that are building at a higher level, get them out for coffee or lunch, whatever it is. And I 100% agree with that. The only thing about that, and maybe I hope this is not an unpopular opinion, but I mean, I get reached out a lot by agents, which is wonderful and I like it, but there's only so many coffees and lunches that I can have. And I do invite people into my group as far as, doing Zooms and masterminds and lunches as a group and as a whole, because we don't have that much time. Not that I don't want to help everybody. I want to help everybody. But these calls, some of these people that are reaching out are not on these calls or are not on Grit, for example. And they, we only have so much time. I'm still building a business, and a lot of us at the high level, at any level, are building a business. So I'd encourage everybody to, before you reach out, like for example, Jessica, I love Jessica. She talks a lot about social media. So I go to her podcast and I look what she's doing and get information from that, as opposed to sitting down with her and her giving me her playbook, because she's already giving a playbook on her podcast. Or Pete Middleton in California, if I want his listing appointment, I just chat with him on Workplace and ask him, can you send me a link, or can you invite me to one of your masterminds? So I think there's easier ways. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely perfect. I'm watching Liz going, yay, because if you're not willing to pour into yourself, please don't come to me and ask me to do the pouring for you. Okay. It's not that I don't love you and I want to help, because we do. And I know I speak for Krista. We absolutely do. But you don't want to call me and say, hey, listen, I'm not really sure what to do about writing this contract. What? Isn't that, I mean, to some degree, if we're coaching you through it, like I've got a business partner I'm working with right now that is more mentoring. That's a different scenario. But you know what I mean? If you've got a question, maybe do some homework on there and see if that question's already been answered. I think it's important. And I know that if you don't, Liz is she'll jump through the computer. I mean, I'm sure of it. I'm watching her right now. She's like, no, I'm going to shoot her. Lizette, what do you got, my friend?
Oh yeah, no, I just wanted to say that, one thing I've learned is that all of us have our natural abilities, and then you hit a ceiling, right? I don't know if you've heard this before. Then you hit a breakthrough where, you need leverage, skill set. You need to, right? It's not your natural. So what I'm saying with all this, like, for example, one of the things that I'm learning, so whenever I feel like I'm not getting to where I want to get, when I step into a room or a Zoom or whoever, if I go shadow somebody, coming in with an attitude as if you know nothing, come with an attitude as if you're the most dumbest person, not that you're self-sabotage. You just come in like you're the dumbest, I don't know anything attitude. And I feel like it helps a lot because you're more open. You're kind of open book, and then you start from scratch or whatever that day or whatever you're doing, shadowing or listening. And because sometimes, we don't notice, but sometimes I do that. I walk in and I need to kind of adjust my attitude. Okay, I know nothing today. I'm going to come learn from this person because they know more, and I need to understand that I'm going to learn more because they're doing it, right? So you got to program your mind to that too.
Thank you. And boy, you nailed that. I wanted to share something because I was just looking at this while you were talking. And can anybody see a class in here that might affect a lot of people? Growing your social media with virtual assistant. Well, I mean, only a couple people put down social media. Only a couple people would probably have a skill set that they wanted to heighten. There's probably nothing in there to help you get your business better. I mean, it's just a waste of time. I'm not even sure who's leading it. It's probably somebody that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Oh yeah, it's going to be a joke. It's Steve Durham's leading it. Yeah, I wouldn't even, yeah, why not? That's a waste of time. Look, we could do something different. Maybe go to the water cooler, get a cup of coffee, pet a dog. I'm getting a puppy on Saturday. True that. Getting a puppy. Y'all go see a puppy next week. I'll be holding. I bring you Simba, which is not his name. His name is Butterscotch. So just letting you know that we're Butterscotch, which, my children are like, you're going to shorten it to Scotch, aren't you? Damn Skippy I am. I'm not walking a dog called Butterscotch. I won't do it. They wanted one of those tiny little yappy dogs. If any of y'all have a tiny little yappy dog, you're wrong. Why would you do that? But anyway, just throwing it out there. I'm not a tiny little yappy dog person. I am a dog person though. So I guess if you have a tiny little yappy, no, you're still wrong. It's a tiny yappy dog. What are you thinking? Couldn't help it. All right. So can we kill the recording?
Yep, I was just about to say, I'm gonna go